Napoli fans around the world, welcome to Napoli Talk. Guys, what a crazy game. Petagna, out of all people, managed to get the goal. And absolutely crazy scenes. Who would have thought Petagna would be the goal scorer? I've got no words, guys. I've got no words to describe the ending of that game. Absolutely clutch by Petagna. And I was thinking, right now is a make or break moment for that man. He's got the opportunity of a lifetime to make an impact, to prove why he's in this team, to prove why he needs to stay in this team and not go to some other team, to some lower end team. And that's exactly what he did. He proved it, and he probably deserves this more than anyone else. And Spalletti, guys, once again coming in clutch as well with those substitutions. Unas, Petagna, what an impact that they had. And I mean, without Osimhen, we were always going to struggle. We were always going to struggle without Osimhen. But Petagna showed why we have him in this team. Unas showed why Spalletti in yesterday's press conference said that he wants to keep Unas. And I can see, guys, from the chat that you guys are absolutely loving the performance by Unas. Guys, if you loved Unas and Petagna's performance today, then go ahead and smash the like button. We'll analyze how Napoli won against Genoa, what we did well, some of the things we didn't do so well, the player ratings, Spalletti's press conference. Guys, we'll go over all of that, but make sure you are smashing that like button, guys. Helps the video reach more people, helps the channel grow. If the channel grows, maybe I might do a bit more videos than I'm currently doing. No, I'm kidding. I will always be doing videos no matter what, but yeah, would really appreciate that. Anyways, let's go back to the game, guys. Let's read some of your comments. Andiamo, Petagna una bestia, says Rico25. He's a beast. 100% agree. Petagna, the new Lukaku of Serie A. Petagna was here before Lukaku, guys. Petagna was here well before Lukaku. At most, Lukaku was the Petagna of Serie A. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. The OG King is back in town. The bulldozer, Petagna, is here to stay. He's staying at Napoli. He's staying. All right? There's no way. We need to chain him to the gates of Castelvolturno, of the Konami training center. And we can't let him leave. We can't let him leave. He has to stay. There's no way we're giving him up. I mean, without Osimhen, when you need a striker, he's the only one in this team that can be an out-and-out striker. We tried it with Insigne today. He did really well. But, you know, sometimes you got to whip that ball into the box and you got to get ahead in there. And that's exactly what Petagna does best. He puts his head to anything that moves, whether that's football, probably just, you know, if someone throws a chair at him, he'd probably put his head on there as well. And that's why he's called the bulldozer. And guys, what a finale. What heart, what spirit, what substitutions by Spalletti. I am hyped. I'm so glad we didn't bottle this. I am just so relieved we did not bottle this game, guys. I mean, I keep thinking, just like last week, that if this was last year, we would have lost the game. I mean, just like last week, we would have lost the game. But, you know, with Spalletti, I always feel like it's under control. Like it's under control. And I have to say, guys, credit to Lobotka. I'd like to shout out Lobotka. You guys will see why. He is the reason why we scored that second goal. And we'll see it. I've got the screenshots. We'll analyze it. We'll get straight into the game. But let me read some of the comments. Did you see Mairarui and Manola's fight towards the end? Says Anto Armenino. Yeah, I saw that. I'm not really sure what exactly happened there. Yeah, we'll see. I think, I'm not going to speculate on what happened there, but that's not really something I want to focus on right now. I mean, Mario Rui probably fights with his mom as well every other day, so I wouldn't read too much into that, honestly. I think that's just his character. He feels the game a lot, as long as, it stays civil. Guys, I'm losing my voice because you have no idea what I did in that Petagna goal. Absolutely no idea. If there was a live, I need to start maybe recording some of my reactions. I mean, I'm losing my voice, guys. I'm not sure how long I'll be able to speak today. I'm not sure. Let's see. Angela Torre, ciao Domenico, sono passata per un like, un abbraccio e forza Napoli sempre. Grazie Angela. Thank you for joining. Shmuel M is saying, yo, I missed the first 80 games and came straight back. I missed it. Straight back to see Petagna come on and score. Yeah, Petagna comes on and scores in the most incredible way possible. Hussein 9996 saying, Unas is in form. There's a huge revolution in his skills and abilities. So if we had played Petagna from the beginning, it would have been a guaranteed victory. I'm not too sure about that, because I think Insigne did play well, but in the last 10 minutes is when you really need Petagna, when you're just whipping balls in the box. And Unas, what a player. What, as you said, transformed completely from the player that he was a few years ago. I mean, he always had skill, but now he's combining skill with making the right pass, making the right decisions. He's just incredible. What an incredible player. Daniel Bowen, thank you. Always so kind. Thanks for supporting the channel so much, Daniel. I really, really do appreciate it. Spalletti effect, in full effect. Do you think Unas is staying? Daniel, he's staying 100%. 100% he's staying. There's no way I am personally letting that guy leave. If I even hear of an offer come for Unas, I'm flying straight to Naples, and they're gonna have to come through me before they get to Unas. Seriously, I mean that. I really do. I really do. Don't tempt me. Honestly, unless an offer for 30 million comes in, but anything other than that, I would keep Unas. Makes FIFA clips. This is a good gift for my birthday. Happy birthday, man. I wish I have a record of Petagna celebration. Oh man, I think only the Koulibaly header against Juventus beats Petagna today. I mean, out of all people, Petagna. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Anto Armenino, thank you so much for your donation. Keep it up. Thank you, man. Of course I will. Thank you, guys. I really enjoy hearing what you guys have to say after the game. If you guys are enjoying the video, make sure you're smashing that like button. Let's go into the match analysis. Let's see how the game unraveled. And then we'll go into the formations. I mean, in the player ratings, all right? So let's go into the analysis. Thank you, Nedal Kalomar. I haven't watched Napoli this season. Am I going to lose more brain cells if I watch again? Or you don't suggest me to? You heard we robbed Genoa on an IG. Listen, man, we did not rob Genoa. I'll tell you exactly. I'll tell you exactly how the game went. I'm going to be analyzing it right now with you guys. But if you want to stay healthy, if you want a quiet life, if you want your heart to not go through a million different heartbeats, then stay away from Napoli. If you enjoy this, man, if you enjoy the adrenaline, if you enjoy unpredictability, if you enjoy passion, then watch Napoli. Join us. I mean, I wouldn't give this up for the world. In fact, here I am every week watching the games, making sure I watch the games, making sure I'm here with you guys. Absolutely loving it. Through thick and thin, through good and the bad, and when it's good, it's so good. It's so good. Hi Dom, beautiful and very tough match. Great win. Unas top, says Fabrizio. Ciao Fabrizio. Unas, che giocatore, che giocatore. Fabian should have come out. He played poorly today. Eric, he scored a beautiful goal. I understand he played poorly, but You'll be disappointed in my player ratings. I gave him a good rating because of that goal. I mean, it was such a crucial goal. Such a crucial goal. I had to reward him. But yeah, he's definitely not in the best of form. Not called up for Spain, and there's a reason for it. Anyways, let's take a look at how Napoli played this game. So I thought, in the first half we were super organized. Insigne as the number 9, Elmas and Fabian pushing up, Lobotka slightly behind them, but always within touching distance. We have a very, very tight midfield 3. We're not spread out. We're very, very tight. And that's how Spalletti likes to play. And we have the support of the fullbacks when we press. So we press quite high, actually. When the ball is on Genoa's left-hand side, Di Lorenzo comes up and he goes on the same line as Lobotka. If Genoa are on the other side, it's Mauro Rui that comes up. There's a lot of pressing going on. It's very aggressive. And also Koulibaly and Manolas, they are very high up the field. We'll see it in other screenshots. First chance of the game. Insigne crosses the ball for Lozano. Lozano, look at this movement. Look at where he starts. He's a few meters behind the Genoa defender. Gets his head onto the ball. And it goes over the bar. I think he could have done a better effort here. I honestly do think he could have done better. But we were pressing quite well, and we did not allow Genoa to feed the ball into the strikers. You can see here they have to play the ball sideways because we've got Elmas and Lobotka blocking the lines of passage to the Genoa attacker. If the ball does manage to slide in between them two, Koulibaly is right there. He's right there. If the ball goes in between them, Koulibaly is going to be on him. There's no way that guy can turn on Koulibaly. And so Genoa were really struggling to get the ball to their strikers. And on the other hand, when we had the ball, we were super direct. This passage of play came from Manolas to Elmas within 2 touches to Insigne making the run. And Insigne was super unlucky here. He hit the post. Obviously, it was a little deflected. But, the intention to play super high, press, get the ball in attack as vertically as possible. That's the kind of Napoli we want to see, that Spalletti wants to see. Let's see some of the comments before I move on. Petagna is a king. Petagna over Pele. Peta goat. Guys, there's a new king in town. After Ronaldo left, after Lukaku left, it's Petagna. Versus Juve, I would start Insigne, Unas, Lozano. I would as well. I think Unas deserves to start, or if he's gonna come on from the bench, let him play half an hour, more than just the 10 minutes at the end. I get it. He's probably more efficient when the other team is tired, but honestly, I think even a fully fresh opponent couldn't keep Unas at bay. This guy is special. Really, really special. I remember when he made his debut for Napoli against Chievo in a friendly back in 2016. I was thinking, this guy, he is incredible. Didn't have, the best few years. Sent out on loan a few times. Didn't play under Sarri because Sarri was super, focused on the players needed to do exactly what he said. Didn't allow players to be creative. But now it's finally his turn. And we get to see what a class player he is. Spalletti is literally the embodiment of what Gattuso wasn't, says ID Beats. Early days, 2 games, but so far Spalletti hasn't put a foot wrong. And I'm loving it. I'm loving everything he's saying in the press conferences, his changes, everything. It's absolutely crazy. Good motivator, great calmness, great subs. You summarize that perfectly, especially the calmness. The way Gattuso last year was, shouting so much and super tensed up all the time, I think it didn't allow the team to feel relaxed. And when things didn't go well for the team, They felt the pressure, they felt tense, they felt nervous, they didn't play football the way that they wanted to, the way that it should be played, which is with a clear head. With Spalletti, we've got a totally different approach, and it's so far paying off. 2 wins out of 2 not easy games. Away Genoa is not easy. 10 men against Venezia is not easy. Guys, make sure you guys are smashing the like button if you are loving this analysis, if you're loving the result of Genoa Napoli. And let's move on with how Napoli was able to crack down this Genoa team. And let's start with the goal that we scored. And a lot has to do with Lobotka. Guys, Lobotka is the reason that we scored the 2 goals. And, you know, sometimes he's the classic midfielder that goes unnoticed, right? But it's because of him that we scored. And let me explain why. So, as he has the ball, we've got Di Lorenzo that comes wide on the right, all right? This allows Politano, who's usually in that position, to come inside. This means that Lobotka now has 3 really easy passes that he can do. He can either go Fabian right beside him, he can go to Politano, or he can go to Elmas, who are in between the lines, okay? And it's very important to note that Lobotka is always looking forward. So his ideal scenario is to go to those 2 guys. He ends up this time going to Fabian, which is alright. Fabian, so let me go back slightly. So Fabian gets the ball, passes it to Insigne on the other side, and all the players ahead of Lobotka, they charge into the box, right? Eventually the ball switches over to Politano on the other side, and you can see here how many people are in the box, right? And what is key here is a lot of people in the box. So it attracts all the Genoa players in the box as well. Then another key thing is Lobotka staying well behind. So in case Napoli lose the ball, there's all the defenders and Lobotka there to cover. This allows Fabian to roam that area quite freely between where Lobotka is and the edge of the box. And he's left completely free, fakes a shot here, goes onto his left foot and curls a beautiful shot in. But, I mean, a great passage of play by Napoli. Everyone making the right movements, everyone being in the right position. And it all is to allow Fabian the space to eventually get the ball and shoot. And he makes the most of it. And that's what you want from a player like Fabian. You know, you want him to take 2 or 3 shots a game and score one of those shots. And that's exactly what he did. Let's read some of the comments. The team was so nervy around Gattuso. I can say for sure that he would have not got more than 1 point from this fixture. I agree. There was very few times when we were going in and winning games like this last year. I mean, last year we either demolished teams or won early on in the game. There was very few times that we won it clutch at the end. Anto Armenino, 100% spot on about Gattuso making the team feel tense last year. Klaus Murphy saying, I saw the rumors also and would be interesting with Spalletti. I just can't see it. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Sal Di Brita, 46 watching but only 26 likes. Smash that like button. Yeah, guys, you gotta smash that like button. I'm here and I'm still seeing some people that haven't smashed that like button, so I'm just gonna wait. Just gonna wait. There we go. Those numbers are ramping up. There we go. I like that a bit more. ID Beats saying, loving the beats, by the way. I mean, if it comes from ID Beats, then that's an honor. Whoa, Saffware Silver, thank you so much for supporting the channel, man. That's awesome. Thank you. You guys are super kind. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Dino Nervosa, Il Bulldozer, so much passion from the team. They won the Scudetto this year. We'll get to that, man. We'll get to it. So guys, first half was all Napoli, all right? All Napoli. Second half, Genoa, the first 10 minutes, they were on it, okay? They were on it. It was not an easy game. The game was by no means easy. It was by no means done. Genoa came on the front foot needed a good save from Meret. Ball bounces back. Same guy shoots again, goes to Mario Rui. Mario Rui with a clearance off the line goes to another Genoa player, and the ball swerves just wide. And you're thinking there, oh man, this is gonna be one of those games, isn't it? It's gonna be one of those Sundays. And it really did seem like it was going in that direction when Genoa did score. But it came from the situation here where, so a cross comes in. Meret tries to catch the ball. He misses. He didn't miss the ball, but he fumbles the ball. And then VAR checks, and they have to make a decision. And you can see here. So let's go over the decision, because a lot of people will say Genoa got robbed, but it's a foul. It's a foul. So the Genoa player at the start, he's got his eyes on the ball. If he keeps his eyes on the ball, then it's not a foul. Okay? That's a genuine attempt to play the ball. But look what happens a second later. Eyes no longer on the ball. And the ball is still in the air. It's still anybody's ball. Look on the right. Meret still hasn't touched the ball. But look at the Genoa player. He turns back. Once he turns back, he's not making a genuine attempt to play the ball. By the rules, it's a foul on the goalkeeper if there's contact. If that guy had kept his eyes on the ball, it would have not been a foul. But there was no genuine attempt anymore to play the ball. So that's why the ref gave a foul, and the goal that eventually resulted from this was not given. So before anyone says that Genoa got robbed, guys, this is a clear foul on a goalkeeper by the rules, by the regulations. It's just how it is. Let's see what the comments are saying. Do you think we still need to shop for players? Says Mr. Espresso. Yes, of course we do. We need a left back. We need a center mid. Those two positions. Everything else, I think we're okay. Do we pick up another midfield before the market closes? If they're talking about Loftus-Cheek from Chelsea, if we get Loftus-Cheeks from Chelsea, that would be some bit of business by Napoli. Anto Armenino is saying, I think it's a foul, and it's given as foul 99% of the time. I also think Meret could have jumped with both knees up to clear out the Genoa forward. Listen, man, I mean, here's the thing about Meret jumping with his... I think it's dangerous jumping with both knees out. I'm not sure how you would land necessarily in that situation. And also, you don't want to knee a guy in the back, right? You want to be careful with how you position your knees. I do think, though, that Meret got lucky in the sense that there might be a time when the striker is a bit bigger, keeps his eyes on the ball. Meret still needs to make sure he gets onto that, He got lucky that the guy stopped looking at the ball. But other than that, I mean, Meret needs to do slightly better. But anyways, it's a foul. Whatever. We move on until Genoa actually do score. And this goal it's a good goal by Genoa. Let's be honest, it's a good goal. Credit to the team that we play against. I mean, they've got the ball in midfield. Lobotka's on the guy. Elmas, he's in the right position. Lozano is slightly too far ahead. Or he's not even that far ahead, but I think his body language is wrong. He's kind of resting. I think his body needs to be turned slightly towards what's happening behind him. He needs to be aware of what the Genoa right back is doing behind him. Because he should know that he's leaving Mario Rui 2 against 1. And Genoa, to be fair, they do everything right. So their striker makes a great movement in between Mario Rui and Koulibaly. Mario Rui has to cover that movement, so he comes in. That leaves a lot of space behind him for the Genoa player to run into. And that's why Mario Rui gets a bit late to the ball. He's not able to close the cross down, but it's not his fault. He had to cover the run that the other striker was making because it was a 2 versus 1 situation. So it's not Mario Rui's fault. It's also not Di Lorenzo's fault that the number 50 for Genoa, who will eventually score, is free, because Di Lorenzo needs to keep an eye out on Pandev, because, well, I mean, the ball ends up going behind them, but Pandev is probably a bigger risk in this situation, and none of the midfielders are closing in on Pandev. Politano, Fabian, Lobotka, Elmas, Lozano, no one's closing in. And to be fair, that's credit to Genoa for getting the ball, switching the ball fast, making a fast cross, not allowing Napoli to close the gap between the midfield and the defense. You know, it's not necessarily a mistake by Napoli, it's good play by Genoa. And we got to recognize good play from the opposition when it does happen. So not Di Lorenzo's fault, good play by Genoa. The ball, you know, ends up going to that number 50. It's a good effort. It's a very good goal. It's very similar to the goal that Shaw scored for England against Italy, and Donnarumma couldn't save that shot. So I'm not going to blame Meret for not saving this one. You know, it's a very, very difficult situation. Maybe Meret could have been positioned a bit better. He did leave that part of the goal a bit too wide. Maybe that's his only issue. So not impeccable, but I mean, I seriously wouldn't have expected him to save that. I mean, if he had pulled off a save there, it would have been a save of the season. So guys, not any Napoli player's fault, just a great goal by Genoa. I mean, if there is one player's fault, it's probably Lozano's, because he left Mauro Rui stranded 2 versus 1. But I don't want to hear Mauro Rui or Di Lorenzo get blamed for this one, guys. I really don't. So let's see what the chat is saying about this. ID Beats is saying that he's glad, or who said that? He's glad that the chat's going too fast. Someone said glad that Antor Menino said glad you didn't blame Di Lorenzo, because I saw a lot of people blaming him. It's not 100% his fault. Hey man, I mean, a lot of people, are gonna blame him because they see a huge gap between him and the number 50 without realizing what else is going on in the field. And I mean, it happens to be that the number 50 scored, but for me, the biggest threat was Pandev. So I would have been in that same position that Di Lorenzo was in. It's just unfortunate that there wasn't enough backup, and you know, it's probably the midfielder's fault that didn't help him out there. You know, people in the chat still going in, celebrating about Petagna. We're never gonna stop. We don't stop celebrating about Petagna for the next 2 weeks now, because the next game is 2 weeks from now, guys. Petagna, he deserved that. He deserved that. And let's go on to how the game was shaping up after it was 1-1. It was a very physical game. We had to rely on a few, long-range efforts at times. Koulibaly getting really close. By the way, he was watching my stories on Instagram the other day. So guys, if you are not following official Napoli Talk on Instagram, what are you doing, bro? Koulibaly is watching that stuff and you're not. I mean, come on. You gotta follow. So make sure you are following that page. It's got basically just memes, if you guys are into that. So yeah, I mean, Koulibaly, what a player. With his left foot, got really close to scoring. Safoir Silver, thank you for, is that a second donation? Thank you, man. Honestly, I'm so grateful for you guys supporting the channel like this. This is absolutely crazy to me that you guys would do this, but thank you. He's asking, or he's stating, we can win Scudetto with belief and consistency. 100%. I don't want to say it because I don't want to be disappointed. I really don't want to be disappointed and say that we're gonna win the Scudetto, that we can win it, and then we finish 4th or 5th. God forbid we finish 5th. So I'd rather just keep my feelings to myself, and not say what's going through my head, but that is going through my head. That is 100% going through my head. If we can keep it solid, if we can keep belief, if we've got consistency, and guys, if the fans get behind this team with the Napoli fans behind them is a different beast. Is a different beast, guys. I've been to the Stadio San Paolo, which is now Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, several times every year. The atmosphere there is just electric. It's just incredible. And I've been to other stadiums as well. It's not the same in other stadiums. The push from the crowd that you get in Naples, I think it really does give you an extra 5-6 points every year as a minimum. So, already we're better off than we were last year when there was no fans. And yeah, I mean, let's hope that they can support the team away from home as well, like they did today. I mean, there was a lot of Napoli fans out there, and I'm sure they had something to do with the result today as well, just like they did against Venezia, to be honest, when they were cheering on Insigne even after he missed that penalty. So yeah, this is why. Then Napoli, we had some other chances with Lozano. I didn't take a screenshot. I can see some of you are starting to follow official Napoli talk. I've got my phone here. I'm getting notifications. A few of you starting to follow. Go ahead and follow. Well, whoever else isn't following yet, go ahead and follow. So thank you. Yeah, that's another person right there. Guys, thank you so much for the support. So anyways, I'm saying how Lobotka is the reason why we won today. Look at this, 82nd minute, right? He's got 2 players on him. The Lobotka of last year, or the Bakayoko of last year, would have A, lost the ball, B, thrown the ball out of play, C, backwards pass, or B, given it to Fabian or Elmas, who was heavily marked, and then we would have lost the ball. Instead, Lord Lobotka of this year, of the season 2021-2022, you know what he does? He takes on 3 players. Well, he takes on 2 players and then goes in between another 2 players. Dribbles past all these guys. Look at where he gets to. I mean, look at that difference. That's a solid 1, 2, 3, 3.5 stripes of the field that he covers. And only when he's got a wall of 4 Genoa players does he decide, right, time to give the ball away. And that's exactly what you do as a player. You don't overdo it. You try to go as far forward as you can without overdoing it. And and when he stops, look how he doesn't just pass the ball back to Fabian, and it's basically like we're going back to square one. No, he goes immediately towards Mario Rui, which is still forward. I mean, if you're looking at that picture, that's still a forward pass. And he goes to Mario Rui, and then Mario Rui gets a free kick. But that's thanks to Lobotka's decision making and courage and bravery. So he gets a free kick, and then Petagna gets to the end of that with his head, beats Sirigu. Not a bad goalkeeper, Sirigu, vice of second goalkeeper for Italy, champions of Europe. We're not talking about some kid. We're talking about Salvatore Sirigu. Beats him on his front post and goes absolutely wild with the fans, smashing the glass, celebrating with the away fans, the team all around him. It was just beautiful. I mean, guys, if I flip the camera right now, you're gonna see my room in the biggest mess. I mean, I threw everything. I was worse than Petagna. Guys. I mean, what an incredible story. The thing is, he's linked to a move to Sampdoria, which are Genoa's rivals, derby rivals. And he goes and he scores in that same stadium where they play against Genoa. You couldn't write a better story. obviously, I do wish that he stays with Napoli because he's shown that he's an important player. Obviously, last year there were moments where I think he could have done more. I really do hope that this is the start of something for Petagna. I really do believe in second chances when it comes to players, you know, especially when it's only their second season. We saw it with Lozano, we saw it with Unas. I hope we see it with Elmas, I hope we see it with Petagna, I hope we see it with Lobotka. Guys, if all these players, Elmas, Lobotka, Petagna, these players that didn't really have an impact last season, if they can start making an impact, it's as if we bought new players this season. So people are saying, oh, we didn't buy anyone. But guys, if these players start turning up, that's huge for us. That would be absolutely huge for us. Ultras better be there against Juve, says Daniel Bowen. I mean, whether it's Ultras or the normal fans, I mean, the stadium against Juventus is going to be electric. I've watched Juventus games from all parts of the San Paolo, from the Distinti to Nisida to the Curvas. It's electric in every single corner of that stadium. Whoever's there is going to make some noise, and it's going to be just an incredible atmosphere. You know, I hope that for those who can make it, do make it. And for those that haven't been to a Napoli-Juventus game, I do hope that at some point in your life you do get the chance, because it's just a surreal experience. So yeah, I really do hope you guys are, you know, if you live far away, you're saving up money for that. Petagna deserves starting 11 next match, says SMG. See, I don't know about starting. See, I want him in the team. I think he's a clutch player. I think he's good in the last 10-15 minutes. I don't think he's got the fitness level necessarily to play 60-70 minutes. That's a huge problem for him at the moment. So I wouldn't play him in that regard. And I do think he's one of those players that doesn't necessarily fit Napoli's style of play. But, you know, when it's 10 minutes to go, you're not really looking for the guy that fits in to the style of play. You're looking for the guy that you just lump the ball forward to, get your head onto the ball, and then you're good to go, right? Lorenzo Libuti, been at the Stadio, was amazing. Yeah, I think you were there against Roma. So I know Lorenzo. Sal Di Brita, Mario Rui taking late free kicks has resulted in 2 game winners for us. That is true. Mario Rui has been super important this year. I think against Venezia, it was him that got us the first penalty. So, you know, he's doing all right. Daniel Bowen says he'll be at the Juve game. I know lots of people back home will be at the Juve game. But yeah, guys, I mean, Petagna, absolutely crazy, and he gets rewarded in the player ratings. So guys, let me know in the chat if you guys agree with these player ratings. Obviously, I'll try to explain my reasoning behind these player ratings. Let me know. I'll be reading what you guys have to say as I'm speaking. AJ Wise, he's in the house. He's saying Juan Jesus looks strong today from the little what we did see of him. Yeah, I do agree. You know, obviously he only played 5 minutes, so I didn't really want to put a number to him because it's just 5 minutes. It wouldn't have made any sense. But yeah, I mean, he did look all right, but 5 minutes is really not enough to judge a player. Jorit, or I don't know, sorry if I butcher your name. But he's saying, I've only been to the San Paolo once, a Europa League return fixture against Trabzonspor. Napoli already won 4-0 away, so it was a trivial match. The atmosphere was still insane. Yeah, I mean, look, I've been to some Europa League games when it's against some of these teams, and I must admit, you know, on a weekday, when the game's already, you know you're gonna pass, it's not the same. But I mean, if you're saying that it was still intense, then just imagine in your head what it would be like against Juventus. And yeah, I mean, it's absolutely a different level. I mean, I've been to, you know, a lot of other stadiums, you know, some that had crazy atmospheres as well, like Anfield, for example. And I can tell you the one in Naples is a little bit more intense. and that tells you everything, really. That was only one touch, so telling about Juan Jesus, it was only one touch, so I wouldn't read too much into that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, didn't make any mistakes, but it's just one touch, really. Vetsu Oji, welcome. He's in the house as well. Lozano didn't really do anything this match. He was all right. I thought he had that opportunity in that first half where he had that really good movement to get in and do the header. And then he had that opportunity in the second half that actually he shot the ball it was a good build-up play by Napoli. It went through Sirigu's legs, but then Sirigu's legs kind of touched it, and so it got deflected out. And I thought, that was super unlucky. It could have so easily been a goal, and he was still very good at, stretching Genoa. So I do think it was a 6, maybe a 6 out of 10 performance from him. I put a 6.5 because, at the end of the day, we did win. He did try a few things in attack. He was important for us there. Maybe, as I said, the Genoa goal was a little his fault. So maybe it was better to put a 6 on Lozano. But hey, I'm in a good mood. 6.5. Insigne 7 because, guys, I mean, he didn't score. Technically, he didn't assist. I don't think he assisted. It wasn't his assists. But the build-up of that first goal, it was his ball to Politano throughout the second half as well. He was, passing the ball left, right, center, making, these beautiful link-ups with his teammates. And, it was super tough for him to play as a number 9 during this game. But he made some really good movements, especially in that first half. He hit the post, as we saw earlier, and in the match analysis, and you can't really expect him to do any better in that position apart from maybe score a goal. Politano 6.5, an assist for Fabian, and then I thought, he was good in attack, not crazy good, not the Politano that we saw of last season, but enough to, I think, deserve a 6.5. Napoli talk, I don't like you taking 0.5 off of Manolas for making good last-ditch tackles. Yeah, you know what? That is true. I just wanted Koulibaly. I wanted Koulibaly to have a higher rating than the other players in defense, because I do think that Koulibaly had a better game. So I wanted Koulibaly to be 0.5 higher than them. But then I couldn't give Koulibaly a 7.5 because I wanted Petagna and Unas to have 7.5s, because what an impact that they had. Absolutely devastating. When you tell someone you've got 15 minutes and they change the game like that for you, you've got to give credit to them. So I wanted to, give them 0.5 more than Koulibaly, and I wanted to give Koulibaly 0.5 more than the rest. So that's why it's like that, man. But Manolas had a really good game as well. Really good game. Very good last-ditch tackles, as you said. Really enjoyed his performance. Mario Rui Di Lorenzo also had good games. Mario Rui with the assist as well. Di Lorenzo was pushing throughout the whole game, supporting an attack. So, everyone did really well. And as I said, that goal that Genoa scored, I don't think is their fault. I mean, it just happened to be a really good goal by Genoa. Lobotka 7, because he was incredible today. I have a weakness for the number 8 position, because that's a position that I played a lot in football, and it is a hard position. I mean, to always think of looking forward and taking the responsibility on the 83rd minute to dribble past 3-4 players, it takes courage. It takes courage. And he did that extremely well, and I want to reward him for that. Fabian with a 7 for his goal. I think the one player that didn't play so well today was maybe Elmas. I mean, he had a really good few stints in the first half where he was good through balls for Insigne, for example, but I really thought that he was gonna be a bit more present in the game. He had such an amazing game against Venezia. I almost kind of expected him to be at that same level, but he wasn't able to do that. So yeah, I'm just reading some of the comments. Elmas green 6, Meret yellow 6. Yeah, I forgot to change the color on Elmas. That should be a yellow. You're right. You guys are getting really good at spotting all my mistakes. No, but yeah, thanks for spotting that. Yeah, you're right. That should be a yellow. That should be. ID Beat saying, nah, man, he had some pretty bad free kicks, and we had a lot of free kicks. See what Rui did with his set piece. He was good with his diagonal passes, but Insigne was a bit off. I don't know. Elmas was quiet, but he didn't make a lot of mistakes. I mean, that's what a 6 is. Like, a 6 is a good performance. A 6 is like, so a 6 is you pass. In my books, it's you basically did nothing wrong. Like, you were on the field. We didn't necessarily benefit that much from having you, but we also didn't feel something. We also weren't hindered with you on the field. 6.5 is when you were, contributing, I think, a little bit more, and 7 is when you were one of the star players. And then, as I said, 8s, 9s, 10s, they are super rare in my books. I mean, that's when you score 2-3 goals, 2-3 assists, when you really are reaching Messi levels. If you score a hat trick, obviously you're gonna get a 10, but I think we were far off from such a performance today. Meret 6 because I think he was partially to blame on that goal that we scored. As I said, it's a difficult one to save, but maybe could have been in a better position. And also because I think he got a little lucky with the Genoa disallowed goal. It was a foul, but I think he should not fumble the ball regardless. So yeah, guys, those are my player ratings. Let's see. We got to keep Manolas. Can't see us replacing him adequately if he left at this point. 100%. I mean, a lot of people are saying... a lot of people say about Manolas that basically they're saying Manolas isn't the player that we didn't get the player that we thought we were getting with him. And to some extent, I do agree. I do agree that the Manolas that we saw at Roma was a better player. We did maybe expect a player that was more on Koulibaly's level than he actually ended up being. But he is still 1 or 2 levels above Rahmani, for example. I mean, I would 100% rather play Manolas than Rahmani. And yeah, there was some situations that happened last year where Manolas was not playing at the best of his abilities. But I heard from a source that there was some personal problems happening in the background, which I'm not gonna reveal, that could contribute as to why he seemed a bit off in his head. And they are totally valid reasons if they are true. I don't know if they are necessarily true. So I would go easy on the guy, to be honest. I would go easy on the guy. But yeah, I'm not gonna spill what was told. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. I mean, these are human beings. They go through struggles, and sometimes that does affect performance. So yeah, I mean, Forza Napoli forever saying Rahmani cost us 2 goals last season and this season. I mean, Rahmani hasn't really played this season, and we haven't conceded 2 goals this season, so I'm not really sure what you're talking about. But he did cost us a few goals last season. He's not a bad player either. I mean, he did win us a few games, actually, Rahmani, as well. He scored a few goals, got that penalty against Juventus, so he's not a bad player either. But I'm just saying Manolas, I think, is just a little bit better. So yeah, I mean, Manolas is good. But yeah, just something to consider when we talk about Manolas is the thing that I said before, if it is true. So let's take a look at actually some of the stats of this game. So just to see how Napoli dominated. I mean, these are stats that I love to see. 85% pass accuracy is perfect for me. I said this last year multiple times. For those that joined just recently, it might seem weird when I say 85% is perfect. Surely 100% is perfect, or 90%. Actually, you don't want it to be that high, because that means that you are only playing sideways passes. There is no way a team that plays vertical football, fast-paced football, goes above 87, 88%. In fact, most teams that play fast, forward, vertical football, and they play it well, like Napoli does, are around that 84, 85% mark. So that's what I actually love to see. Yeah, I mean, it's proof that we're doing things the right way, because, 582 passes, that's a lot of passes. I like that our foul count is pretty high. This shows that we are aggressive, but to the right amount. Only 3 yellow cards. So we're not, doing absurd, crazy fouls. We're doing fouls that are necessary and fouls that are tactical, in the sense that they maybe break some play up, but they're not going to necessarily cost us a yellow card. So it's smart fouls. And 5 corners is not bad. Possession 62%, that's also pretty good. Shots on target is really good. The ratio between shots on target and shots, we have got more on target than off target. That's very good. 8 shots, 2 goals. 8 shots on target, 2 goals is good. So all round, I think this shows a very, very solid performance by Napoli. And I know that these are just numbers, and one of them by themselves is not really enough to tell you a story. But when you put all these together, you can clearly see Napoli played well and they were the better team. And this is the part that I love the most, guys. If I scroll down, but not here, guys. This is still not. I mean, I like this. I like this. We're first, 6 points, tied in first place. But what's really nice? What's really, really nice is when you scroll down and you see Juventus there. That's really nice. I have to scroll down to see Juventus. I mean, you've got Empoli, you've got Cagliari, you've got all sorts of people above Juventus. I'm talking like a lot of people, a lot of teams above Juventus. I mean, I can't even physically put us in the same window, and yeah, it's nice. It's nice, and we got to play against them. We got to play against them next week, obviously. Well, not next week. The next round that we have, we got to play against. We got to play against them. We've got these as our upcoming games. We've got Napoli, Juventus, the 12th of September. So there's a bit of a break, a 2-week break for us. And I think it's perfect that we've got a 2-week break where there's going to be a lot of heat for Juventus, and for us a lot of hype. We play at home. It's going to be a sold out occasion, obviously 50% capacity, but it is what it is. And then we've got Leicester City, Napoli, which is a game that I'm hoping to attend. I think some of you guys know that I live in the UK. Leicester is not even that far away. Even though it's a work day, I think I can still make the game. So it's just a matter of, am I able to find tickets? If I do, then we'll see. And maybe I can do some live things on Instagram. Probably not going to cover, if I'm at the stadium, I'm probably not going to cover the game, with a video, but I am going to try to bring you some Instagram lives if I am at the game, and in the build-up of the game and after the game. So another reason why you guys should follow the Instagram page if you guys are not already following that page. Yeah, we've got Leicester, then we've got Udinese, Sampdoria away. So we come back to Genoa after at the end of September against the other team in Genoa, Sampdoria. And then we've got the next home game for Napoli after we play Juventus is at the end of the month. So we've got 3 away games. That is, an incredibly difficult calendar for Napoli. A very difficult calendar. 3 away games is not easy, and it's not to be underestimated. We've got another. God, you guys are being too nice. I think Napoli winning has put you guys in too good of a mood. No, but I seriously do appreciate it. Thank you so much. This This really helps the channel, guys. I mean, yeah, I'm so grateful that you guys support me like this and you guys turn up. I really do appreciate it. EJ Wise, I hope I pronounce your names right, especially the ones that come here every single time. If I keep butchering your name every single week, that's not a good look for me. But yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So gotta support the best. Thoughts on us loaning Sedatka? Look, Sedatka's going to a good team. He's going to the team that actually Osimhen played for before. Well, so Osimhen, I think, went to Wolfsburg. Then he went to that team, which plays in Belgium. And then he went to Lille. And maybe Sedatka can do something similar. So prove himself in the Belgian league, where I think he's got a better chance of growing as a player, as a man, compared to maybe being in a Serie B or Serie C team. I think it's a good strategy, especially for him. He speaks French. They speak French over there. I think he's gonna adapt very easily into that team. And yeah, I'm not sure if that team plays European football. If it does, even better. He can get consistent game time, and then maybe next season he can come back to Napoli or go to a Serie A team and be guaranteed of a starting place there, or go to, let's say, the French league, a bit like what Osimhen did, go to be a starter in the French league and then come to Napoli. I mean, he's still young, not that young, but still young. So I still think that, him doing these experiences is a good thing. And if that team wants to buy him, I think there's a 2.5 million euro clause, or like contract, or clause, let's call it, that they can buy it from him, and from Napoli. And I think 2.5 million for Sedatka, I mean, it's not crazy money, but I mean, it's still a player that has basically never played for us, and we're getting free money out of it. And it's not like he's probably going to be, the next Messi. I don't think he's got the same potential as Unas had, for example. So yeah, but I mean, I do hope he does well and he does come back to Napoli. I mean, that's always the hope, that we use the players that were in our youth team, and we have a squad of players that were created by Napoli. So Jorit is saying Sedatka already made his debut yesterday. That's good. See, he's already playing with the team. So guys, Spalletti is starting his press conference with the journalists. So let's see. I'm gonna read some of the interviews that Spalletti and the players have said. Actually, let's go with Di Lorenzo speaking to DAZN. He had a few things to say, so I'm gonna put Spalletti's face on here, but it's actually Di Lorenzo speaking. So Di Lorenzo says, when you face a team like Genoa with 5 defenders, it's very tough, but it's a very important victory for us. Then they ask him about, was there a mistake on the goal that we conceded? And he says, I took the choice to mark the man that was closest to the goal, which is what I said. When we were analyzing, I said he's going to go and mark Pandev because he's closer to the goal. He's in a more central position, and that's the right choice. Football speaking, if you had to make a decision that you have to live by, you're always going to go and mark Pandev as opposed to some unknown left back, 100% of the time. So he made the right call, and he's saying, I made that decision. Unfortunately, the ball was played to the far post, and at that point, I couldn't reach the player anymore. But it was a very important victory for us. It's very important to get this victory before the international break. We have to continue on this path. We're on the right path. And then Spalletti mentioned in yesterday's press conference that after Osimhen got the red card, they basically printed out they have a sheet of paper in the dressing room, and they all wrote something on that sheet of paper, and I think it's meant to, I don't know, I think each person is meant to have like said that they won't let the team down and or whatever, right? And basically it's like a promise that each player makes to the other players in the team. So they ask him, what did you guys actually write? Is that what you guys wrote? And he says, the things that happen in the dressing room stay in the dressing room. We spoke about that incident. It's important to have won even without Osimhen. He's a very important player for us. Whoever plays in his position, whoever played in his position did a good game. So he's talking about both Insigne and Petagna. And then they ask him, is there something new in this team? Like in terms of mentality or enthusiasm? And Di Lorenzo saying, we are 100% behind Spalletti. We're working well. He's a very experienced coach. So shots fired at Gattuso. We're trying to bring onto the field everything that he asks of us. We're a strong team. Every Sunday, we need to show it on the field. Today, it wasn't easy. Genoa were coming from the back of a defeat. And it was a heavy defeat for them. And it was the first time that they were playing at home this season. So they wanted to do something good for their fans. So it was very difficult for us. We had to get our hands dirty, and we did. And then they ask him, did you become a bit more tactical after your Euro 2020 experience? And he said, yeah, I mean, I learned a lot in that tournament. In the national team, I have to stay back a bit more. I don't have the same liberty to go up as I do in Napoli. When I'm at Napoli, I am a bit more classic in my approach, where I go up and I can have a higher position onto the field. So that's Di Lorenzo speaking. So I know there's Spalletti's big bald head in the picture, but it was Di Lorenzo speaking at the press conference. So what are you guys saying on the chat? You guys have, your own conversations at times that have nothing to do with what I say. So that's cool. I love that. But I need to then, read and understand what you guys are talking about. So let's see. Asking for the third time, IDB to saying, sorry, man. With us not playing out from the back as much, we don't need a left back as much as we did last season, especially with Juan Jesus. Agree or disagree? I disagree. 100%, because so many times you will need to play from the back. And Mario Rui's problem was never really the fact that he couldn't play from the back. Mario Rui's problem is that he switches off at times completely. I mean, I've never seen a player sometimes just completely switch off, as if he's got like a button on the back of his head, and sometimes someone just accidentally presses it and it's just like off. That's it. And that's something that happens. So that's why we do need another left back, 100%. So yeah, let's see if Spalletti's press conference is over. Let's see. Well, I think it's either a very short press conference or it's over, because there's not that much that was said. But let's see. No, let's see if you guys have any other comments. Maybe it's still not over. Let's see. Yeah, you guys are really spamming with that question. I already answered it. Okay, good. So let's see what Spalletti said so far in the press conference. All right. I think it was just a very short press conference, to be honest, because I keep refreshing the page and it doesn't get any longer. So he's saying Genoa did a great game. I was talking about it with Criscito before, who was with me at Zenit. So obviously Criscito and Spalletti both played a few years at Zenit. Criscito was the captain of that team. Spalletti was the coach of that team. I think he was there for 7 years, something like that. Criscito was super happy with what his teammates did. Basically, yesterday's game, especially Juventus Empoli, showed that it's not easy to get points against any team, and in this moment we have to grind results out, and that's normal for any team in the league. We also have a lot of players that we still need to recover, so hopefully in the near future we can have a more complete squad. And then they ask him, where does this Napoli team not need to be modified? So what's already a 100% something that you're satisfied with? And he's saying the players up in attack make the difference. When you have to win games, you need players that invent football. So he's talking about players like Unas, who have a lot of quality in their feet and a lot of technique. Up in attack, we are quite stacked. So he's saying a lot of good things about Unas, which is great. And then he's asking, did you imagine heading into Napoli-Juve, third game of the season, already 5 points ahead of Juventus? And he's saying, no, of course not. But the 5 points right now have absolutely no meaning or no value at this stage of the season. There's a lot of time for, situations to unfold. So obviously we don't know. If it was 5 points with 3 games to go, obviously that would have been a totally different story. But we're talking 36 games to go. So it's a good margin, but realistically speaking, if Juventus go 36 games unbeaten, these 5 points that they lost out at the start mean absolutely nothing. So yeah, I get what he's saying. Obviously, it's good to have that gap. It's even better if we can make it 8 points. And I do think that we need to go for the win. We do need to go for the win. I mean, a draw I wouldn't be happy with. Not against this Juventus. Not at home. Not after coming off the back of 2 really, really good wins for us. Sal Di Brita, he's in the house as well. Thank you so much for your donation. I don't speak adequate Italian, so I really appreciate you translating and discussing the press conference. Also, how do we match against Leicester City Football Club? Forza Napoli sempre. So there will be time to talk about Leicester City. I will make a video specifically about the Europa League because we've got a 2-week break coming up. So it would make sense to make a video about the transfer market when it finally closes and just wrapping up what happened there, and also a video looking forward to the Leicester City game and just Europa League in general. What I can say is that they are a very good team. I think we're pretty much on the same level. It's going to be such a good game. Both teams like to play out in attack. They've got some incredible players. They've got the likes of Jamie Vardy, which he's an incredible striker, but also in midfield they've got quality players. I mean, Tielemans, Maddison is a player that I rate him. You know what? I rate him more than Jack Grealish. Honestly, I think he's a better player, and not a lot of people will agree with that, but I think he is very similar to Fabian, but he's a bit more lively. I think he gets into the box more, or is at least trying to in recent months, and he's got these tremendous free kicks, tremendous set pieces that we need to be careful of. Tielemans from outside the box, he can score some crazy goals. They've got a solid defense. They've got Rodgers on the bench, which is a very good coach. Super unlucky not to win the Premier League with Liverpool a few years back, only because of that unfortunate situation with Gerrard against Chelsea. Otherwise, he would have won it. Dominated with Celtic when he was at Celtic. With Leicester City, he's won an FA Cup, won a Community Shield, got them comfortably in the top 4 last season for 37 out of 38 games. They were the team that was in the top 4 the most throughout last season, more than Manchester City. Manchester City spent less time in the top 4 than Leicester City last season, and yet they just bottled it at the last game. Absolutely, I don't know how, absolutely bottled it, but they are a Champions League worthy team, and they've got Schmeichel in goal. He's a very, very good goalkeeper. If I were to line up the two teams together, I think I would pick 5 or 6 players from the Napoli squad, but I would also take, 4 or 5 players from that Leicester City squad. I would take Schmeichel, I would take Maddison, I would take Jamie Vardy, I would take Tielemans. I mean, they have quality, and even their reserves, Iheanacho, Perez, they are a quality team in attack, and it's just going to be just one of those games that is going to be great. It's going to be Champions League level, and it's not going to be, I think, too tight because it's not an elimination game. Both teams know that we've got 5 games to go, and it's just the first game, so I think they'll go and play 100% nice, attractive football. So yeah, as ID Beats is saying, Harvey Barnes is quality as well. What a guy! What a player he is. I think all these players are super unlucky they didn't get called up to the England squad. It blows my mind actually that a player like Vardy, Maddison, Barnes didn't get called up. Unless, is Barnes English? Yeah, he must be. So yeah, absolutely quality. They've got Cristante as well, obviously, who was obviously playing in Italy. So yeah, they've got real quality in that team. It's a team that would challenge for the title here in Italy, just like Napoli should. I mean, I do think we're on the same level as them, and if we take into consideration the two teams and the value of every player on that team, Leicester City are actually number 1 in the whole of the Europa League, and Napoli's at number 2. So there's not a lot of difference. Sorry, Castagne, not Cristante. You're right, ID Beats. Always correcting me, but good that you do. I was saying Cristante, saying that that's not right. It is Castagne. Yeah, I mean that team, is quality. It's valued. Whoever makes these values is valued higher than Napoli. So yeah, it's gonna be good football. I do think that Napoli need to go there and try to win that game 100%. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But guys, I've been speaking for an hour and 15 minutes now, and I need to catch a breath. I'm actually late for something, which is also not that good. So I gotta bounce. I gotta head out. But anyways, I hope you guys are gonna enjoy that. You've enjoyed the live, you've enjoyed the game, that you're gonna enjoy your Sunday if it's still early hours for you, if it's like the afternoon or something, if you live in America or South America or whatever. If it's already Monday for you, then bro, you should probably go to bed. Yeah guys, have a good week, have a good rest of the day, and I'll see you soon. And as always, Forza Napoli sempre.